Art versus illustration. Now, this is a little bit of a, not a controversy, but a discussion about what constitutes art, what constitutes illustration. What's the difference? So I would say that illustration is art plus expression plus one key element, story. Illustration is art that tells a story. Now, that's not saying that's the only way to do illustration, but generally, most of the time, my favorite type of illustration tells some sort of story. One of my favorite illustrators slash artists, Alphonse Mucha. These beautiful paintings and illustrations were made for advertisements. He was actually painting, creating, crafting a picture that would be printed on a temporary poster that would be slapped on a wall to advertise something. He had an expression, a double expression in his work, not just the beautiful painting, but he was really good at capturing personality. What I find really interesting as I'm looking at these dates is these different artists were contemporaries. You've got Van Gogh, Picasso, Sargent, Mucha. He had a way of not only capturing a likeness, but more than that, telling a really interesting story with the acting and the models and the design of his pictures. And so you really don't need any words or written information to understand what his painting is about because he was so good at staging, at putting together a picture that told a story. Every element in the picture is working to tell the story. And that's, a real important craft of the illustrator, being able to make all of the pieces of their work come together to tell that cohesive story. It's really dramatic, really cool, action-packed, and it's overlooked in the art world as anything of importance when you look in the history books. But he is probably one of the most prolific artists in the 20th century, creating stuff and entertainment for the world around him. Now, this poster artist is the most successful, most well-known poster artist of the 20th century, the late 20th century for sure, the 70s and the 80s, the 90s. He had the ability to capture a likeness, but also do it in an artistic way, and then tell that broader story through the way he illustrated the characters and the different events from the film. But Adam has the ability to also capture a likeness, but then also craft a beautiful figure and put that figure in a beautiful frame and an interesting environment. But at its core, illustration to me is always telling a good story. And to me, that's what makes it both attractive, interesting, and entertaining. I certainly love to admire fine art, but if it doesn't have a story at its core, it doesn't quite make sense to me. So for me, art is illustration and illustration is art.